Okay. Chairman, we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. We are ready to commence the meeting.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the meeting of the Administrative Operation Committee of the Public Building Commission of Chicago being held today, Tuesday, February 8, 2022 at 1 p.m. In order to continue indoor social distancing protocols, today's meeting is being conducted by video conference and is being live streamed. Director Sanchez, please call the roll.
Thank you, Chairman Maldonado. Just as a reminder to please keep your microphone muted when you're not speaking, but commissioners, make sure it is currently unmuted as I call the roll. Chairman Maldonado.
Here.
Commissioner Randall.
Here.
Commissioner Camargo.
Present.
Chairman Maldonado, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Director Sanchez. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the meeting held November 16, 2021.
Move to approve.
And second.
Motion approved. Next item on the agenda is public participation in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Registered speakers will be allowed 2 minutes to provide comments.
We
There are
don't
no
have any registered speakers, sorry.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is report by Chief of Staff Lori Lipson.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I have 6 reports for you today. The first report is for our task orders. This month we have 4. The first one is for geotechnical services for the Salt Dome project. You've probably seen it on the news a couple times the last 2 weeks with our snowstorm, and that went to AECOM Technical Services in the amount of $52,631. Our next project is for McCutcheon for environmental rental demo services, and that went to Wood Environment Infrastructure Solutions in the amount of $110,604.13. The next environmental rental demo consultant, Carnell Carnabear and Associates, is for one of our AIS projects, and that's for our Persian Road West Building and Tunnel upgrades. And that's to a WBE firm in the amount of $16,164. For that project and the rest of the Pershing Road projects, we actually went out for a procurement for CM construction managers at risk last week. So you might have seen an alert for that. Our last AIS project we have for this month is for the Roseland Neighborhood Health Center, and it's for survey services for Weaver Consultants Group North Central in the amount of $13,200. My next report is some additional AIS projects. So if you remember months ago, we have been coming to the committee to report on AOR and EOR appointments to these projects. And so our first project is the Hall Library project. It is, we are recommending Johnson, Lasky, I keep saying Kinderlin Architects. We have a staffer named Kinderlin. She is a WBE firm. Currently, she has a master agreement with us. She's working on actually our Engine Company 71 renovations project. And we are recommending JLK Architects for the Hall Library project. In addition to that, we are recommending Rada Architects, who has worked on our Lock and Saginaw project, which is a WBE firm, for the Central Hearing Facility project. And it again is an AIS project. The next project is a recommendation for Mode Architects, a MBE Asian-owned firm. It is for the 25th District Police Station in Area 5 and the Police Motor Maintenance Garage 4. If you remember, Mode Architects has been in a joint venture with Harding, And so we have seen his good work. And so we're asking him as the MBE partner to step out and have his own contract, which we're happy about, and work on these two projects. So he would get a new master agreement in the amount of $5 million, and he would be on a task order basis as well. The last group of projects, we are recommending Juan Gabriel Moreno Architects, JGMA, for 3 projects. And it's the 7th District Police Station, our famous Chinatown Branch Library, and the Chicago Public Headquarters. JGMA has worked on our award-winning Daily College and has worked in a smaller capacity at our Door Elementary School. And it is an MBE Hispanic-owned firm. And we would be recommending the $5 million master agreement for Juan, and he would be on a task order basis as well. And the good story about this, Juan has worked with us a lot, but he had not had his own master agreement with us. So we're excited about that. And the last one is super exciting. It's IT. It's about server migrations and IT clouding services. It is for Synapse, and they do our local redundant storage in the cloud, really the Glacier with Microsoft Azure. We are recommending $120,000 every month. They do our IT maintenance, and they also do our cloud hosting for various platforms that we use. And that completes my report. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Move to accept the report.
Actually, I did want to go ahead and state something. So I'm going to recuse myself from voting on JGMA as the they are a client of mine, and so I will not be voting on that.
Thank you, and we will note that in the meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
The report is accepted. The next item on the agenda is report by Chief Development Officer Ray Gederoff.
Take myself off mute. Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon to all of you. Commissioner, I'll get started with our field order activity report. There are a total of 4 projects on our report, 10 total field orders that were reviewed with our client for approval prior to issuance. 6 of those field orders exceed our reporting threshold, and those are the 6 that I'm going to review with you this afternoon. There are a total of 4 field orders for the new Belmont Cragen Elementary School project. The first field order is field order number 4 for an estimated amount of $181,532.17. This field order includes a significant number of electrical revisions that were required after the building permit was issued and after the joint venture was procured for the project. They include a number of different clarifications and corrections that the electrical subconsultant had to make to the contract documents. We are working with the architect of record and its consultants to conduct further reviews of the contract documents to confirm that additional field orders as they come about are reviewed timely, as in this case we did with our client. The contractor is proceeding with the work as directed for field order number 4. Next one is field order number 6 for an estimated amount of $33,293.15. This is a client requested change, whereas there was a request made by the Park District to upgrade the electrical service at the existing Reese Park Fieldhouse. As you know, this new school is going to butt against the Reese Park Fieldhouse, and the collaboration with the Park District and CPS has been incredibly productive. In this case, the Park District requested that we upgrade the electrical services from 800 amps to 1200 amps to accommodate their additional heating equipment for future work that they're planning at the project. The next item is field order number 8 for an estimated amount of $20,988. This also is a client-directed item. This is an update to the specific 24 different doors, whereas we are adding glazed vision panels that happen to be rated in order to comply with our client's current standards. That work is proceeding as directed in the field order. The next item for the Belmont Cragin School is field order number 11 for an estimated value of $72,254.50. This is additional work required due to ComEd revising its service entrance location for the primary power. We take a great deal of pride in the amount of work that we do during planning and design, specifically with regard to coordinating utilities. During the planning and design phase, this work was coordinated. However, subsequent to permit issuance and contractor procurement, ComEd determined that the original service entrance location could not accommodate the project because there wasn't enough capacity. Therefore, there's 2,000 feet of extra work required in order to bring the secondary work to the building. We are working with ComEd. CPS has been incredibly patient regarding this project due to the number of things that are going on out here. And Commissioner Maldonado, your support has been great in terms of site visits, so I do appreciate that. We are working with ComEd. We are tracking these costs. ComEd on its own has expenditures that the PBC and CPS are not going to realize, but we'll track this work and continue to communicate with ComEd because ComEd changed the service entrance location and caused an impact to our project. The next project is the Phillips High School Annex project. That is field order number 2 for an estimated amount of $22,000. Now, this is a client requested change. This is to provide a new fire alarm system for the annex to match the manufacturer of the existing school fire alarm system. Again, this was really well coordinated between CPS and PBC, and this provides for a consistent system that's going to manage both buildings. The next project, the last of the field order items for today, is the Kenwood Academy High School. This is field order number 20 for an estimated amount of $22,540. We've worked closely with CPS on this project. It's one of our favorite projects, in fact. This is to furnish and install 16 new wall-mounted cabinet unit heaters within the breezeways of the first floor. The work was critical during that period of time where it was extremely cold. The building engineer, everyone at CPS, and the school principal were incredibly helpful in order to get this work done. All the cabinet unit heaters are installed. Heating is being provided throughout those breezeways. That concludes my field order activity report. Commissioners, are there any questions?
No.
Okay. I'm going to move on and discuss our change order activities for this period. There are a total of 5 change orders for 5 different projects. The first project is the Byrne Elementary School project. And both of these items for Byrne are closeout change orders. One is to deduct the unused commission contingency in a credit amount of $95,706.16. The second are liquidated damages associated with the compliance requirements for a credit amount of $40,545.88 for a total credit amount of $136,252.04. The next project is the Esmond Elementary School Annex and Renovation Project. This is work required to facilitate revisions to the substantial completion date in the amount of $163,000. There were several elements at the Esmond project that impacted the completion date, first of which building permit issuance, and then subsequently ongoing coordination with the trades and resequencing work related to changes that were made, changes that were required for the project. One thing to note for Esmond is that the contractor's original proposal was nearly $450,000. But in this case, Passion was a very good partner, as CPS was, and we were able to negotiate the costs fairly and equitably to a final value of $163,000. The next project is the Pressing Elementary School project. Two changes listed here. First one is for deduction of unused commission contingency, I apologize, for a credit amount of $24,876.81. The next one for Pressing is our liquidated damages associated with the compliance requirements and goals for a credit amount of $46,195.48 for a total, total credit amount of $71,072.29. The next project is the Jameson project. It's for the deduction of unused commission contingency in the amount of $15,518.45. The next item is related to our new salt dome that Lori spoke about earlier. And in fact, the geotechnical amendment for the work that was required for the salt dome was critical to the work that I'm going to describe next. So there was a few things going on here. Number one, it is a revision to their substantial completion date and revisions to phasing the work that was required to complete the salt dome in time for salt deliveries, and then complete the balance of the site work in order for the substantial completion requirements to be met, and then completing the milestone work separately. In this case, during the contractor's excavation and engineering fill activities, there were underground cavities that were discovered late in August. Several cavities throughout within the dome and around the ring beam and throughout the site. We immediately asked the contractor to stop working. We conducted several inspections on site. And the first option here was to spend almost $1 million to excavate the entire site. So rather, what the PBC requested from its engineer and its geotechnical engineer, engineer of records, HBK, and our geotechnical engineer that Lori spoke about earlier, is we immediately first confirmed that the work complied with the contract documents. Second, we established a grid throughout the project, including the interior of the dome and the ring beam areas. Third, we executed a number of additional borings, and the purpose of that was to understand and define the exact extent of the impact related to these cavities that were discovered throughout. The team worked extremely well together, and the solution was to excavate those voids based on that grid, based on those discoveries, so that we were applying logic, common sense, and engineering principles to remediate and address those salt pockets within the dome. In addition to that, we established settlement monitoring along the entire dome to ensure that there were no settlement issues. I could tell you that there wasn't. And we proceeded accordingly. By doing so, we committed a few things, right? The first was to ensure the work complied with the contract documents. Second, that the remedial work would address the salt pockets within the dome area. And then third, to have the dome ready by October 15th in order to give the Department of Streets and Sanitation time to bring their salt deliveries in. So the extension for the SC date went from September 30th, 2021 to getting the dome ready by October 15, 2021, and then completing the milestone work thereafter. I can report today that the work, that the salt dome is functioning properly. There are no issues at the salt dome. We're continuing to address some minor issues outside of the salt dome. We've reestablished our settlement monitoring points to ensure that the work complies with the contract and that there's no impact to Department of Streets and Sanitation's operations during the winter months. And I'll say this, it was real helpful that the Carpenters Union came out as another set of eyes and ears. So Commissioner Maldonado, I appreciate that support on that end. That concludes my report for the change order activity report. Are there any questions?
Now, I just want to add, Ray, and applaud the staff, the PBC staff and the general contractor on site. When those issues were identified, we were out there. We did the inspection, close with the contractor and also with the PBC staff, and the reaction time to get this, to get this rectified was just astounding. You guys did a phenomenal job out there, and I applaud you guys for that.
We all appreciate that. Thank you, Commissioner.
Any questions?
No. I'll move to accept the report.
Second,
The reports are accepted. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
and second,
Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
thank you,
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.